I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously, 5-0.
May I comment?
Please.
Frank, the fact that we're going to be looking at this further, it almost sounds as if we're going to make it more difficult for people who try to come forward with these things in order to comply with the state regs. And I would hope that when you do re-examine or do examine this, that we not go through some contortions or whatever to accommodate some idea that has really not been fully understood by any and all of us. If this is simple now, I'm not so sure we just shouldn't keep it simple into the future. Just a comment that I'll throw out there, and we'll visit that.
It's certainly not our intent to make things complicated.
But sometimes
they do. But that was not our intent. Okay.
Unintended consequences. Supervisor
Real quick,
Pinches.
Mr. Chairman, while we're on this, I went to that meeting here a couple weeks ago. You were there, Frank, and they were talking about the county has a policy of no less than 100 acres for an add-on, and actually it's the state law that goes down to 40. Were you going to bring that as a board action to bring that policy in line with the state?
I think we'll bring a number of options available to you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we do have a timed item at 3. Oh, I'm sorry.
One quick question.
Yes.
Mr. Lynch, so along the lines of what we were just discussing with the rescind and resubmit scenario, knowing now that the state is going to be scrutinizing the Williamson Act holdings in all counties in the state, including this one, do you see anything that's problematic? Maybe not specifically in regards to this applicant and this process, but if we continue to go down this path, is it anything that would put the county at risk, if you will, or put anything in that might be problematic for those assessments that the state's going to be doing with respect to what has been put into Williamson Act? In other words, I would have a concern if growing numbers of these were to occur and that was the case. So can you address that?
I don't think that's going to be a key issue. I think more of an issue is the ongoing monitoring that should be taking place of things that are in preserve, and that's the key issue. Okay,
so it isn't really how they're listed with, so doing these individual listings.
No, I think they would like to see. It was very frustrating when the Department of Conservation was here and Supervisor Pinch was at that meeting, and that we tried to get them to respond to very specific questions, and it was a lot of vagaries that were going on there, and we didn't get a lot of very clear answers, and there's a lot that's going to be left to local discretion. But I do think that the monitoring of stuff that's in preserve that maybe should not be is going to be the key issue.
Thank you.
We couldn't get them to commit to much, huh, Frank?
No.
It was a very fun meeting, though.
As fun as meetings can be.
No, this was different. It was fun.
Okay, I'm showing items 7D5 as continued to December 9th, just for public information. And that brings us to, as the clock ticks away, to our timed item at 3 p.m. is a presentation of Mendocino Council of Governments, the Ukiah Valley Transportation Impact Fee Nexus Study. Sponsor is MCOG and/or Supervisors Pinches and Koufax. Supervisor Pinches and Koufax are listed as the sponsors. Would either one of you like to take the lead on this?
Sure, I will. Okay. Yeah, we have a presentation here. I believe, is it going to be Phil Dower's going to lead the presentation?
Mm-hmm. He's here, Johnny. Relax.
Okay.
It was a bad day.
David, do you have one of these?
Yeah.
Give me that mallet.
I have an extra one of these if somebody wants it.
As we're setting up, any of the supervisors need a break? Or are we about ready to go, Nathan? Okay, all right. If you do need more time, just let me know. Mr. Dow, would you like to start, or do you need the overhead? Please, proceed.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Phil Dow from Mendocino Council of Governments, and I'll give a little bit of introduction while we're covering for time while we get geared up here for the presentation. I have with me today Julie Morgan from Farron Pierce. She has been under contract with the Mendocino Council of Government to deliver the Ukiah Valley Area Transportation Impact Fee Nexus Study. And shortly I'll turn this presentation over to her. We had given a somewhat of an abridged presentation